Good evening, everybody. How are you this evening? It's our usual slot, Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. And here I am with some more training for you. I'm going to give it like a couple of minutes to see if people drop on from all the different platforms that I am sharing this on right now. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit closer. You think, being the expert I am at this and doing this slot every week, I'd be really organized, wouldn't you? But I still forget to do things every week. Anyway, how are you? How much rain have you had today, wherever you are in the country? Let me know where you are in the country or the world, and let me know if it's rained all day, because it has literally never stopped here. But my gratitude for that today is that I did the first dog walk of the day at 7 o'clock this morning, and it wasn't raining at 7 o'clock this morning, and the kids have had to get drenched lunchtime and evening walk. So, pays to get up early, doesn't it? Anyway, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching live, let me know. If you're on replay, let me know. You know the drill. Everybody knows the drill by now, don't they, with lives? Anyway, West Yorkshire snowed all morning. Snow. We don't get that here. I live near the seaside, near the beach. So we don't get much snow yet. 5 miles down the road, they do. But no, just rain today. Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, and I wouldn't know why, but I am Mandy, and I am a creative genius consultant, artist and author. And I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their creative business and make more money. And tonight, I am going to talk to you about creating your big vision. So I made a pledge that this year I would use my Tuesday night lives to teach every single week something that I think could help even one person out there to be able to do something that the majority think is quite simple to do. And I know it is not simple to do. You see, vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others, because so many people struggle to be able to create a vision for themselves, for their lives, for their business. They can operationally function and they can follow instructions or follow a path, but many people struggle with creating vision. And I've worked with thousands of people in my career and in my business and in my life. So I know how hard it is for some people, not everybody, to create a really big vision. It's not for me. I've been doing it for decades. I'm good at it. I've practiced it. I have used many different methods to refine it and improve on it. And it's taken me decades to get really good at it. It's thrown about, setting goals and creating vision. It's thrown about way too easily. And it's actually the most important thing that you do, because without a vision, you don't know where you're going, full stop. And the ability to have one to see where you want to go is a skill. And I want to teach you some of these skills and bring you some tools that you can use that are going to help you to be able to be better at doing this. Because when you get better at doing these things that I'm teaching on a Tuesday night, you are going to get better in your work, in your job, in your life, and in lots of other areas. So that's why I'm showing up to do this. So any of you that have been watching me and know me know that I've got a huge vision, that I want to buy a castle in Scotland and run creative retreats and do all sorts of wonderful things with it. And I hold that vision very, very dear to my heart. It's behind me, always do the wrong side. On my mind maps, it's to the left of me, on my goals and my planners, and everything that I do centers around this ultimate goal and vision. But to create it, there are many, many different methods of getting there. And I'm sure that many of you will have been introduced to vision boards in your time and vision planning. So tonight I wanted to bring you some really simple tools that you can use to extract what you really want to do, what your soul's purpose is, what your heart is telling you. So that's what I'm going to do tonight for you. You don't have to watch, but if you do watch and you get some value out of this, please share this live. Please tell people about it and direct them towards me, because that helps more people. You telling one person and them needing it can make a huge difference. So I'm going to start by talking about the model that I use in vision planning in my signature program. And I use a model called the perfect square. I've talked about it before on my lives and other presentations. And it's from a novel by Florence Scovel Shinn, who was a visionary, an artist, an illustrator, and a visionary, who wrote this book in 1928, and it was formed around the basis of The Secret, manifestation and thinking about what you really wanted. So I've created a model from that book, and it's called the perfect square. I'm going to show you this sheet here. Now, this and a workbook that goes with it are available if you want it. You need to say you want it in the comments, and then I will send that to you in Messenger if you are on my Facebook. If you're on Twitter and you're watching on Twitter, or you're watching this later on LinkedIn or any other platform, then send me a direct message and I'll send you this workbook, because I want to be able to help you. So the perfect square is formed from 4 sides: health, wealth, love, and self-expression. And in this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, Florence describes the perfect square as if you've got balance in all 4 areas and you create your vision around that, then your life and your purpose will be fairly robust. If one of the sides is missing, then the square collapses and it's not aligned. So that's why I use this model. I like it. So the perfect square, the first thing you need to do when creating vision is to understand where you are right now. So this is a little exercise that I use, and it's called the perfect square vision feelings exercise. And I ask you to actually score yourself on each side of the perfect square. So under health, I ask you to give yourself a score from 1 to 10, 1 being low and 10 being high, of where you think you are right now in terms of things like self-care, self-esteem, spiritual connection, physical health. And be really honest. So when you get this workbook, if you want it, score yourself really, really honestly in all of these areas. And that gives you an idea about how you're feeling right now. And it identifies the areas where you need to do more and perhaps have some bigger goals and vision. Also contained in this workbook is a few documents that are going to ask you to review the last year, so 2020. Review the last year. So look at the highlights of 2020. And when I've spoken to my clients about this, sometimes, COVID itself has almost been numbing of the brain. And they were struggling to remember some of the high points of last year. But lockdown didn't start till March. So between January and March, what were you doing? What were the highlights of those 3 months? And then what happened that was positive over the remainder of the year? So this next sheet is the highlights of 2020. Per month, what were the key things that were highlights of the year? But when you're creating vision, you're looking forward. Vision is always about looking forward. So when you're looking forward and creating your big vision, you've got to understand what are your values and what are the things you want to stand for in your vision. So let's take the example of the Scottish castle, shall we? I want to buy a Scottish castle, not because I want to live in a castle, although I do, but I've got a vision for that castle. I can see me owning this castle and being able to bring people from around the world to this castle to run week-long creative retreats. And in that week, I'm going to have them painting and drawing and doing illustration and animation and meditation and walking in nature, doing nature studies and keeping art journals and exploring their inner creative. That's my big vision for owning a castle in Scotland. And I will then create multiple income streams, as well as the business that I currently have, which is location independent, from that castle, that bring people together and actually develop their creative thinking, their creative ability, and their connection to themselves through creativity. So that's my big vision. There's a purpose behind it. And what do I want to stand for? So in this workbook, I have given you one page which has lots of words on it. And I want you to have a look at this page if you get the workbook and decide the words that resonate with you, that fit what you want to stand for in this year, in 2021, going into 2022. Let me give you some examples from this list. So do you want balance in your life? Do you want to be brave? Do you want fun in your life? Do you want people to see you as a knowledgeable person? Do you want to have passion? What about stability, strength, trustworthiness? Some of these words will resonate with you. And I've kept them in alphabetical order, and you can just circle the ones that resonate. And this is you preparing for your vision. Why do you need to do all of this? Why do you need to review the last year, what went well? Why do you need to know what resonates with you and what you want to stand for? Because any vision that you create, if it's misaligned with your core values and belief system, then it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to take yourself there. Anything that's not aligned with your soul's purpose, with your belief system, I know that's a bit woo-woo, with your values, is going to be hard work. So if you want to be a millionaire and all you want is to be a millionaire and you want the money and you've got no idea really how you're going to get there and why you want to get there and who you're going to help along the way, that's going to be really difficult for you to align. It's going to be difficult for you to learn the processes and the systems that you need to become a millionaire if you don't have a big vision. What does being a millionaire mean? What will you look like when you're a millionaire? What house will you live in? What car will you drive? Who will you have helped? How many people will you have helped? What will they be saying about you? How will they describe you? How will they talk about their interactions with you? So you, by all means, have a goal of becoming a millionaire, but understand the values that sit behind the goal and who you are going to help, because you can't get there without selling a product or a service to another human being. Therefore, you need to have values behind that vision. And I know there are lots of people that make lots of money without having that. And if that's fine, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. It's a lot harder journey, and you've got to be completely ruthless in order to get there. And that doesn't sit with me. I'm just going to be really honest with you. My business is values-based. It's values-based, it's soul-centered, it's connected with what I want to do and how many people I want to help. And that's how I communicate it to the world, because I'm quite happy to make money, but it needs to be done in that way for me. If I didn't do it that way, it would not align with my core values and the person that I am truly at my core. And that's really important to you. It's really important to most of us, not to everybody. It's really important to most of us. And if you can build a business and a goal and a big vision based on that, then you're more likely to succeed, because the desire and the passion and the drive are there that pushes you forward, that keeps you going, and that motivates you without somebody else having to motivate you. And ultimately, I'm a business coach. This is about business. Where do you want your big vision to be with your business? So this was the final part of this workbook. If you want it, you just need to let me know that you want it, is something that I picked up from a good friend of mine who I work with, and I'm part of her membership base, and she got it from somebody else, and it's being passed around. And I think you should pass things around when they are really good and really useful. And it's an exercise called 100 Things I Did, Made or Loved Last Year. So the last page is actually 3 pages, did, made, and loved. What did you do that you really enjoyed last year? What did you make that you really enjoyed last year? And what did you do that you loved doing last year? Because when you can identify what fills you up with joy, the things that really drive you forward, and align those with the things where you've scored low on your initial exercise, and then align them again with the words that resonate with you, that you want to stand for next year, you have the foundations to start building your vision. Okay, so if I started completing the first exercise, Siri's just come on for some reason, and I don't know why. My computer's doing all sorts of weird things on its own. If I had identified that my self-care was really low, and I have this really big vision that I want to achieve, of buying a castle to run retreats, and I wasn't taking care of myself, it would be really highly likely that I would burn out in the process of trying to get there. So that's why you've got to look at how you are feeling in all the different areas of your life, how that aligns with what you want to stand for. What were the things that you've enjoyed, and where do you want to be going, and taking all of that with you into the future. How do I want to feel when I'm in that castle? I want to feel as if I've really succeeded in helping so many people. I want to be able to go and paint the Scottish landscape whenever I want to. I want to have created lots of jobs for people that they love and that they enjoy, that help me to deliver what I am trying to offer. There's many, many layers. It's not just a castle in the middle of a mind map. It's way more than that to me. And this is how you create really big vision. And the final obstacle you have to get over when you're creating your big vision is to understand that you deserve it. And every single one of us on the planet deserves everything they desire. We deserve abundance. We deserve a really good life balance. We deserve to be enjoying what we do every single day. And we deserve to be able to attract money towards us really easily and effortlessly. What's taught us different is society itself, where we've applied these rules that say you've got to work hard. You've got to work hard for your money. If you're not working hard, then you can't be doing anything right. You know, if you're not working hard, then you're not a good person. These are rules that have been applied by society. These are not rules that have been applied by the universe or by any other spiritual laws that anybody wants to follow. We are entitled. We don't have to suffer. We can have the big things. If you want a Mercedes car and a big 4-bedroom house, that's great. That's your vision. How are you going to get there is the steps that you need to take. And that means about exploring the foundations, the feelings that you have right now, the feelings that you want to have when you get there. You can't create a big vision by not putting in the work. It takes work. That's why I created the workbook for you tonight. If you want to access it, just say there's a link in the comments, but that's to my Creative Business Academy. If you want to find out more about the Business Academy, there's some free training in there as well. If you want to sign up to my email list, there's lots of free stuff that comes out on a regular basis. But if you want this workbook, you need to message me or put a message in the comments. And starting to create your really big vision is about opening yourself up to the possibilities and allowing yourself to believe 100%. And I mean, without any doubts, without any caveats, that you really deserve everything that it is you want. I deserve to own a castle in Scotland. You deserve to have everything that's on your big vision. There's no use having, I want a car and I want a house without any actions behind it. Okay, but before we do actions, and I'll be taking you there over this month with lots of different how-tos and lots of different training. It's about understanding where you are now, right now, how you're feeling, how you want to feel, how the last year has been. And it's more important than ever, I think, to assess the previous year when it's been such a tough year. But in a tough year, some people have still had successful businesses, and I'm one of them. So tough years don't actually matter. In recessions and times of big downturn, there are many, many businesses that have come out really successful, and mostly service-based businesses. And I know people have been saying that since COVID started, but it's actually true. There never is a good time or a bad time to start creating your big vision, creating actions that support it, and going for it. The time is now. So if you want something desperately enough, if you want to create this vision of what you want, if you want to create this picture in your head of whatever it is that you want, start now and do the back work. Okay, that's all I've got for you tonight. That's why I've got a handout for you, so you can do the back work if you want to. You know what to do. Let me know. I hope this has been useful, and I will be back next Tuesday, same place, same time, with something else that's going to help you to be able to work on some of these things that are just expected of us in social media land and on the internet right now. We're all expected to know these things. Well, you don't have to know it. I want to help you along that path. Okay, have a wonderful evening. I will see you all next week, and I hope the rain stops really soon, and the snow in some cases. Bye for now.